My grandfather wants me to come upstairs right now when I'm uploading these videos online, and it's like if I don't go upstairs and do this right now, he can literally just pick up the phone and allege that and allege something, and the police will come and arrest me. It's really how ridiculous it is. They transfer the title from one person to the other via their lawyer, depending on the decisions that they make. So one minute he can, because it's his house, he can allege something that's not true, and I can be arrested. Um, and the next they can switch it over to my father. And the police act accordingly. The police act accordingly. Um, my father has threatened to kill me. Like he's literally texted and threatened to kill me, and I have to like do everything that this man says when he says it, at the moment he says it, at the moment he says it. Meanwhile, my father's coming into the house, bringing women in, and hurting them. Meanwhile, my father, and then driving my grandfather's car around all around the city, and wherever out of state, and doing drugs, drinking, um, and taking prescription pills that are not prescribed to him, overdosing, and insane, and then my and my grandmother had to suffer through all of this. My grandmother had to suffer, and then she passed away because they neglected her. And I tried telling, I told them that this is happening, and they said it was like none of my business. And then basically my father stole a lot of my belongings, including my guitar, and and threw away my clothing. And like I said, if I don't do exactly what he says, then basically I go to jail. And if I left, I left. And then I went to the shelter, and the shelter told me to throw away my sleeping bag and my food. And they said it was my fault. This is my fault because I called because my aunt got arrested for yelling at my grandmother, and she got arrested because she went to my car when I was sitting in the driver's seat, and she took out my keys, and then she drove off with my car keys, and then she also assaulted me while I was in there, and I had it on film. And the police came because she stole my car keys, and she was arrested. So my grandfather just like my grandfather committed perjury. My aunt wanted him to commit perjury, and my other both my aunts wanted him to commit perjury on an order of protection. And at that time, my grandfather wanted me to keep watching my grandmother, my mom, because she was my mom. She raised me. She bought me my clothes and everything. And so I mean that's so I stayed here taking care of my grandmother. She was assaulted by my grandfather. She had been threatened by my grandfather. When my father came back from prison, he started threatening my grandmother. He witnessed my grandmother being assaulted, and and they and so because I called elder abuse, the police came here. They said that there was no problem, and then so that made them very upset because there is no solution to this problem. Basically, it's my grandfather's house. He can do whatever he wants. He can switch the title over as many times as he wants, or the deed to my house as many times as he wants, and the police aren't going to do anything about that. Like these problems are very emotional, and because they're very emotional, people are not able to remain calm and think logically, because usually when there's too much emotion, there's little logic, and so and so what results in is like when a police department makes like a mistake, it's difficult. There's really just solving it. They don't want to keep revisiting the problem over and over again because it's happened in the past, and and just but things keep happening because what the police did is they green lighted my grandfather and my father after. Which means that by green lighting they have reinforced the abuser and gave them they have re they have re they have they have they have they have put a confidence that what the hell is the word I'm looking for? Well, they have bestowed. I'm just gonna in layman's term, they bestowed confidence in my grandfather and my father that it's okay what they're doing. They have green lighted them to commit more crimes, and that's when my grandmother really suffered. She suffered a lot because My grandfather was telling my grandmother to help. My grandfather told my grandmother to help herself. He told her to like he like literally help herself. He told her many times that he was gonna leave her. Like almost every day, he told my grandmother he was gonna just like leave her, and like I couldn't. And he made her sign a power of attorney, and my aunt made my grandmother sign a power of attorney, so that prevented my grandmother from going to court and testifying that he had assaulted her. I had on camera my grandmother my grandmother stating that she was assaulted, but I couldn't. But uh, magically it magically got deleted, which is horrible. Um, and the police the mentality with the police department is very much a male first um, a male first mentality, where where the male makes the decision, and the male's right is more valuable and important than the female, and that's historically been so. And so uh, and it's difficult to believe that, but like I'm not going to hurt or threaten or abuse somebody who's that age, who is that age. But in the meantime, my grandfather has allowed my father, who has been in jail his entire life. My grandfather is protecting my father, who continues to be a criminal and commit the same crimes that he had committed in the past, which sent him to jail his entire life. And these crimes that he is that is being committed now. My grandfather is again is defending my father for being a criminal. Um, and so it's very cyclic, and because I don't own the house, and they keep switching the title to the house, like I have no say in how people are being treated, things that are happening here. My grandfather has stated that he wants this house back, and and the only way for him to get this house back is for me to sue my father for the amount of this house, and to force him to give up this house. And as soon as he does, then 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 that will well, I'm either going to put the lawsuit on hold, or I'm either going to put the lawsuit on hold, or I'm going to have to file suit with the entire lawsuit. But my grandfather has to get this house back, because my grandfather doesn't want these people here. Then they cannot be here, and these people are going to then, these people, if they get hurt in this house, they can then sue for the entire amount of the house. This information that I have here is enough for them to, kind of fumble upon it and say, well, this has kind of happened to me. I'm going to sue for this entire house, and he's allowing me in here. If he's allowing me into this house, and this is happening knowingly, and these people's clothes are being stolen. There's being a transfer of property, their property, their drugs are being used. There's being and so knowingly they're going to say, well, this guy is okay with it, and he's okay with this. Then like pain. There's a lot of pain and suffering that go along with this through the conversion of theft conversion, and so it's very possible that this is happening. And meanwhile, like I literally, like I said, if I don't like go upstairs in the next like 5 minutes, he can just pick up the phone, lie to the police, and say like I'm being disobedient, and then I go to jail. Like he's going to come downstairs right now. He's going to come downstairs right now, and uh, and I don't know, say something, but I'm trying. I'm speaking quickly so I can get this out, so I can say this, because this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous because they kind of make me a criminal. They make me a criminal because I don't have any ownership. They stole my car, threw away my clothes, etc. And like I have, like, they make me a criminal because I'm here. My grandmother, my grandmother gave me this freaking house. And my belongings are here in this house, but
Ethan,
yeah.
come up here a minute, will you?
What do you need? Can you come down here?
You got my computer all screwed up.
I don't have your computer screwed up.
I can't even get my games on it.
Your games, cause
Come
you
up here and fix it, please.
okay. My grandfather has multiple tabs, multiple games that are open on his device, and games spam He knowingly he knows that there's spam. Like, and don't think that he's like he don't think he doesn't know. And then, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, the perception could, like, the listener may think like he knows, but he's old. Like, he's well aware of the spam and how much it hurts. He is well aware of it. He just doesn't care anymore. Just like the majority of elderly victims, they just don't care. They trust the system's gonna work. And it hurt me because my information got stolen. I'm a victim of identity theft because of it. Nobody's doing anything about it. I like, he threatened to kill me, and the chief of police in the city says, like, the domestic violence unit, the police department, is just like, they don't have any time to address every single case. I'm pretty sure, and they just don't have time. They just don't have time. They don't have the resources or time. Like, I pretty much did the entire investigation. Like, here's the evidence. This is what's happening. Like, and you got it wrong. You just got everything wrong. But you're allowing a criminal to go on drink and drive and do drugs and OD, and my grandfather doesn't want them, like, and hurt women, and 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 they're just allowing him to continue doing it. Just got, like, instead of arresting him, So like, it needs to stop, and nobody's stopping it. Like, there's a million different things that have happened, a million different laws that have happened, and and
Coming?
yeah, I'll be there in a minute. I'll be there in a minute. So I'm gonna end this video right now so I go upstairs. See, it's just like, it's that important. It's that important.